On Casually FC, welcome to the channel. Welcome to the Casually Chelsea show. We got a lot to talk about, and I'm here joining my lovely panel. We got Harry from Chelsea Fan TV, as well as Real Chris, Ahmed. Winter Surfer will be joining us, or Lord Surfer, as some of you have been addressing him, will be joining us very shortly. Make sure you do smash that like button. Subscribe if you're brand new to the channel. We're almost at 1,400 subs. Help us get there, god damn it. And leave a comment down below. Check out the links in the description. Harry, you got to send me your info. I'll add that info in the description as well. And then, send in super chats, whatever, if you want to leave a comment or all that stuff. Whatever you want to do. First things first, hot news coming out about a DOF, finally. Chelsea getting a DOF. Christoph Freund looking a lot closer to coming to Chelsea. Apparently, personal agreements have been agreed upon. Now it's a matter of waiting on Salzburg, right, to let him go or whatnot. Doing this a little on the cuff, but this is what I've heard so far. Boys, we'll start off with Harry. What do you think about this whole situation, man?
I'll be clear with you. I feel like I'm the same as I'm literally looking at right now.
Dude, I only woke up like a few hours ago, right?
No one knows. No one knows.
Yeah.
Anything. If you say like, "Oh, I've been studying this guy for like years and years," you're a liar.
Yeah.
You're a liar. No one really truly knows anything about this person. We know where he comes from. Pice tweeted, obviously, like in the last 8 hours, Christoph Freund is really close to being Chelsea's new DOF, and he wants to join Chelsea. He's a really good behind the scenes, which is appreciated by Todd Boehly. Of course, Todd Boehly loves the fact that with anyone is whether or not they're good at communication. As we know, one of the reasons Tuchel was sacked was because he was not good at communication on WhatsApp. Freund is the man behind many talents like Haaland, Sadio Mane, and Upamecano, Kante, etc. As reported by...
Yeah, the guy's got a good track record, I'm not going to lie.
I mean, just based off those names, I'll be completely clear. That's the first I'm reading that he was involved with those names. Obviously, he's involved with like RB... is it Salzburg?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Salzburg, yeah.
Again, I don't promote myself as someone who is massively in the know, but like I know that he is, from what I do know, is that he is involved in some very big names, very big hitters.
He's got a reputation. He's reputable.
He does, exactly.
And to be honest, we're pretty desperate for a DOF, which I've said it here on the channel before. I really think that should have been priority number one, is to get a DOF, especially since we'll get into the whole Boehly situation and how that went down, because we have a few videos I want to react to with you guys here in the chat and the panel as well. But yeah, I mean, Ahmed, Chris, what are your thoughts on this whole Freund situation? Are you kind of excited? Because I am, especially seeing that, like Harry just pointed out, Kante, Mane, well, not Kante, not so much, but Mane, Haaland.
Sold him for good profit as well.
He was. He's not so high at Liverpool.
Like they would have bought
cheap
and sold him 60 million. That's still really good business. Like,
yeah, that's a good point.
I like about Marina as well. She could sell players as well, but his name's Christoph, right?
Yeah, Christoph.
Yeah, that's literally, I get called that sometimes, so, it's all good for me, like, we can bring him in.
What's it to do with anything?
It's kind of got the same name.
His name is Chris too! I like him!
Yeah, well, I do get called Christoph as well sometimes. But, yeah, like Harry said, I haven't been really, like, knowing too much about him.
I don't think many of us do, yeah.
We did need him. I honestly think this might put a better relationship between two. I don't know. Maybe Todd Boehly just wanted him out anyway, but this might put a better relationship between Tuchel and Todd Boehly.
Todd Boehly and Boehly?
Yeah, Tuchel and Todd Boehly.
Yeah.
You can
wait. Are you saying no? You're confusing me. Are you saying he's gonna now, because of Freund coming in, he's gonna have a better relationship with Tuchel?
No, but if he came in like way before, like in the summer,
okay.
If he came in way before, like, and we actually got him, maybe Todd Boehly and Tuchel might be on better terms and not talking to each other as much and about formations or whatever. But yeah, maybe like he would have made a bit of a difference. But I'm glad we got him now because we really needed a football director. So I don't know too much about him, but it's good signs we got one now. Finally, we needed one.
Ahmed, what are your thoughts, man?
Where has he come from exactly? It was
Salzburg. Yeah, Salzburg.
So, who obviously, as we mentioned, was Haaland came from Salzburg originally before he went to Dortmund and then eventually to Man City. If you know, with Upamecano, was he was Salzburg as well, wasn't he?
Yeah, Salzburg, Leipzig.
Yeah, so
they get some good players.
Again, I know he's not quite on the level of, you know, the star level of Haaland. What you know, this guy clearly has some sort of scouting level. He's got some sort of pull power. Not specifically has pull power, but like if he's brought the levels of Upamecano and Haaland, who are now two of in their positions, two of the most famous players in their positions. Do we see him being as good for us as he was for Salzburg, or do you know? Do we factor in how many players that he probably would have missed, or how many players that he probably would have scouted for Salzburg? It's a bit hit and miss because obviously he's come across Haaland, who is arguably now going to be rivaling the likes of Ronaldo and Messi numbers.
Yeah,
probably more so than Mbappe, if we really factor that in. Upamecano probably not as big as. You know, he's still very young, but not as big as he could have been. He's not quite living up to the billing, but he still has time to prove himself. But my point is, this guy that we've hired as director of football, do you see him having the impact that he has had for Salzburg with those two players? Of course, they have also included the likes of Sadio Mane, etc. Do you see him actually having as much of an impact for Chelsea as he has for Salzburg?
Ahmed, what do you think about that?
Just previously, I just wanted to say, with obviously we're now getting a new year. That's basically been key since Emanalo basically left back in 2014. We've really needed a deal for quite a while, and to be able to get one now, obviously, is a good thing because we've obviously seen like some of the transfers that have happened at the club, particularly 2017 onwards, and they haven't been that great. But I think with especially clubs like the RB model. And like some sort of like lower to mid-table teams, their scouting networks are very good, and I feel like the BUF, with like the amount of money that they're probably going to put into Chelsea, they will probably have a lot more of a bigger network of scouts they're able to give to the club, and the club can provide that money to make the scouting even more better. I think for me, what is going to come down to again is just transfers, isn't it? Like if he wants to bring in these young talents. Is it going to when you're in Germany or in France? You can necessarily negotiate that, but when you're in like Chelsea, a top club in the Premier League, there's always that prem tax, those sort of things which are going to affect the pricing. So I think that's also something that we need to look at. I don't think we're necessarily going to just go for youngster talents like we did this season, like with Chekomenka, Casaderi, Hutchinson. I feel like what's more likely going to happen is if you look at like a transfer like Alvarez, he's sort of a like young 21, 22-year-old guy. He's sort of started showing some level of potential, and then you bring those guys in and you make them basically world class within the next 2 to 3 years at your club. And I think that's sort of what I think the model that the club might be looking at doing. At least in my end.
Yeah, and I think even like the good thing is that he's coming to Chelsea, and I feel like Chelsea as a name have a lot more pulling power. I think that's going to help him get a lot of the targets that maybe he would have missed if he was under Salzburg. Because, like, you get all these academy people to come in, like, play when you're young. Obviously, you're more inclined to go towards like a Real Madrid or a Chelsea. Like, I know people here in the US that have gone through the Red Bull Academy, and here in the US, like, at least in the East Coast, the Red Bull Academy is a big academy. But worldwide, I don't know if Red Bull is as attractive as a Chelsea would be or a Man City would be, So there is that pulling power as well. So I'm excited about it. And the other thing, too, is I'm going to pull up this comment, too, is like, would I have preferred Michael Edwards or Paul Mitchell? Maybe. but I'm not going to complain. What Freund has done for Salzburg has been very, very good, and they're thriving and they're flourishing on right now under what he's done for them. So, Andrew, now that you joined us, hopefully the iOS update wasn't bad. You sound great. What do you think about the whole Freund situation? Do you think he's going to do well for us here at Chelsea, etc., etc.?
Side note, I don't believe anyone calls Christoph. I just heard that. So
I have that.
No one ever calls you Christoph, you liar.
I think
there's not many people call me that.
There's a different remit, isn't there? When he purchases players for Salzburg, he knows it's with an eye of moving them on for bigger prices. When it comes to Chelsea, he doesn't have to do that. Do you know what I mean? He doesn't have to do that. We're not. Every club's a selling club, but we're not based on like we have to sell players.
Under Roman, we were kind of like that, though, right? But we're not under Roman anymore. It doesn't matter.
But what I'm saying is, we sold players when we didn't want them, or or something like that, or Hazard. But I'm just thinking, if he comes in, he's got more of like iron for actual players that will be here for years instead of like a couple of years they play well and then they move on, like a Haaland. Plus, we're not like we have to ship them to Leipzig in 2 years' time, like Sesko. You know what I mean? So it'll be interesting to see because I want him to.
How do you think it'll work with the plans that Boehly obviously has with like generational teams that he's going to try and buy in? So like with the Man City or Red Bull. Yeah. Obviously, his plan is to have us having like build a squad, so we don't loan players off necessarily. We loan them off to these loan squads that belong to Chelsea Football Club, essentially.
I would think that him and Potter will hopefully work in tandem, look at each player, and then hopefully Potter decides who he thinks will be able to step up right now.
Do you really think Potter has any say whatsoever?
No, I'm not saying it in any of the players, like buying them, like when we buy them.
Even in say Potter is here in 5 years, he lives out his 5-year contract. Do you actually believe Potter has?
Well, I can only.
Do you? Because I know you're on Lewis's channel like a lot.
Yeah.
And you debate with Alex. You have to put up with whatever Alex says. You have to put up with like so much.
do you know what it is?
Do you genuinely believe that in 5 years' time, not in 5 years, but over 5 years, that Graham Potter will have a say on what happens at Chelsea? Because I personally do not. I think Graham Potter is there as a technical genius, yes, but as a pawn, absolutely. I don't feel like he has any say on what happens at Chelsea Football Club. I must have already like him. I don't feel like he has much of a say on what happens at the club.
I don't know. I slightly go against that in terms of that if they are fully committed to this 5-year deal with him in principle, first of all, then I think they'll bring him in with the idea that any involvement of any players, he has some involvement in. Whether deciding it, because they were willing to do that with Tuchel.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
But were they?
They didn't get Ronaldo. I think they were.
Okay, so here's the thing. Do you think that the signings we made were made for Tuchel, or do you think they were made for Potter? Because if you look at Fofana, if you look at Cucurella, they're designed for him. They're designed for Graham Potter.
Let me. Okay, I'm gonna.
Go ahead, Ahmed.
So I think what they're sort of going for, is like a sort of an American style sort of management, where you have the manager, you have the DUF, and you have the owner, and they sort of have like discussions and sort of stuff. And that's what I sort of think that's what they're truly going for at the moment. And I've also have some sort of agreement with you in the sense that some transfers do not seem obviously like they were fully Tuchel, but they do. But at the same time, they also fit Tuchel's sort of style of football, and they can fit Potters. So I feel like in any event, they've got versatile players, so that even if they did want to leave Tuchel out, get Tuchel out, these players can sort of work with any other manager as well.
And the other thing too is that you also got to look at the transfer outs. The transfer outs, most of those players were players that were not performing under Tuchel. And we agreed they were dead wood under multiple managers. But I would...
The outs were perfect.
They were great. But the thing is, I think...
18 season were gone.
It's great. Just ripping up the contracts, like, it's just... out of here, which is great. We needed that, but that's also in tandem with the fact that I think Boehly was trying to work with Tuchel and was trying to see like, hey, are you going to use Callum? Are you going to use Billy? You know, we've heard rumors that apparently Boehly wanted to keep Billy, but Tuchel just didn't have any room for him in the squad, so he was okay with selling him. And you know, Boehly wanted to keep him, but you know, also Billy wanted to leave and stuff. I don't know what you want to, you know, I don't know if you believe minerals or not, but I think Tuchel didn't want him. But the thing is also like, I think with Potter, I know he's inexperienced, but he's got a whole team with him. I think he's going to work with what he has, right? And he's going to figure out what he's going to need a season. Next summer transfer window, I think we're going to see more of Potter's picks and whatnot. Not all of them, obviously, but there's going to be a say. I don't think he's powerless in this situation.
What is the point in hiring this man? Of all managers, I know there are people that say like, they act as though they think that he is the man for the job. They think, he's a master. He's got magic tricks up his sleeve and the whole Harry Potter memes and that sort of shit. Yeah, you know what I mean? But
the man's got the Sorcerer's Stone.
He does, but does he?
Philosopher, but okay.
So the issue...
corrected me.
I'm so sorry.
It's okay.
Well, no, the American is Sorcerer's Stone. The English is...
I know.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't even know. He corrected it. No,
even though still, I have to correct him that.
I didn't even know that. Oh, my days. Go ahead.
It's different. It's regional difference. However, my point is...
Yeah.
I forgot what I was saying now.
It's Harry Potter and the magic tricks and the transfers in the summer. Okay.
With Graham, whatever the fucking name is.
Potter.
Graham Potter. You've made me lost my point.
Sorry. That's what happens sometimes. Yeah.
If we don't give him a year, what is the fucking point that we sacked Tuchel?
Yes.
Yeah. It wouldn't make sense.
I remembered my point now. It's just like, if Tuchel is genuinely, whether you're a fan or the only people I feel like that are fans or not, the only people I feel like are not fans of Tuchel are people that have one, never been to Stamford Bridge whilst he's been in charge and understood the vibe that he brings. It is if you've been to like an Antonio Conte level game, he's
first
been in
season.
charge.
Yeah.
You know the level. You know the level of the energy that Conte brings in his first year in charge.
Yeah.
Even his second year when it was on the downward spiral.
Yeah.
With Tuchel, I never got the pleasure of knowing what it was like to be at a match when Tuchel was in charge because it was so short. But with Potter, if we sack him before he gets to show what he can do, then what is the fucking point of us sacking not what is the point of us signing Potter? What is the point of us sacking Tuchel is the main question. That is what that is my main question that I propose to all of you is not if we sack Potter in the next year because he just doesn't live up to the billing. If in the next year, if we sack, if we sack Potter, what was the point?
What would have been
What was the point of sacking Tuchel if we were always gonna destined be 5-year contract or not? What was the fucking point?
Well, before we answer that, and this transitions into the very next thing I wanted to talk about. Thank you for bringing this up, Harry. Let's go ahead and watch this quick little video that I got for you guys. Now, this is provided from the SALT conference that Tuchel was on, but let's just listen to this real quick.
Any business, you have to make sure that you're aligned with people who are operating the business. And I think Tuchel is obviously extremely talented and someone who had great success at Chelsea. Our vision for the club was finding a manager who really wanted to collaborate with us, a coach who really wanted to collaborate. You know, I think there's a lot of walls to break down at Chelsea. And, you know, before the first team, for example, in the academy, didn't really share data. They didn't share information about, you know, where the top players were coming from. So our goal is to really bring, you know, a team together that, you know, with the academy, with the first team, with the incremental clubs that we want to acquire and develop, all of that needs to be, you know, a well-oiled machine. And the reality of our decision was that we just weren't sure that Thomas saw it the same way we saw it. And no one's right or wrong. It was just, we didn't have a shared vision for the future. And it wasn't about Zagreb. It was really about, you know, the shared vision for what we wanted to Chelsea Football Club to look like. And, you know, it wasn't a decision that was made, you know, as a result of a single win or loss. It was a decision that was made really about what we thought was the right vision for the club.
All right. So on that point, I mean, I don't know who wants to go off of what Harry was saying about the point of sacking Tuchel. I'll start it off just to go off that. The thing with the whole sacking is people who are upset about this whole situation, you gotta remember that Boehly didn't hire Tuchel. That was a Roman hiring. And Boehly took over the club having a certain vision on how he wanted to do things. Now, you could say that, you know, there was failed communications and that they weren't talking. Tuchel was hard to talk to. You know, you could blame Boehly for that. You can blame Tuchel for that. You know, I do put the responsibility on Boehly for not having a DOF off the cuff just to have that communication be more seamless, right? But at the end of the day, I don't blame Boehly, and I say this over and over again, but I got to repeat it because the fans are still out there that have an agenda, almost an agenda against Boehly. I've been meaning to point this out. Like, I know a lot of Chelsea fans used to, for the years and years under Roman, used to complain about how we're so scrutinized by the media. Roman is banned from the country. This whole sanctioning, Chelsea look like the enemy. Like, they're just making Chelsea look bad. They always talk shit about Chelsea. The campaign against Chelsea. That's Jose. Is made famous now. We all talk about this, but then when it comes to Boehly, I see the same Chelsea fans almost having a campaign against Boehly just because he's American and just because he sacked Tuchel, and it's horrible. It's toxic. It's like you see all the pros that Chelsea have done under Boehly, and then we want to point out the 4-4-3 comments or whatever he said about De Bruyne and Salah coming from the academy, which. Who gives a shit? Like, he made a mistake. He's learning the club. He's obviously not a football expert. He's hiring people to be the expert, which we're going to get another video about that. But I want to hand it off to you guys. What are your thoughts about this whole, you know, the taking over of you know, Boehly and the criticism of him and all that?
So, listen. First of all, Boehly is the best. Out of who was going to buy us, Boehly was the best outcome. Of who was going to buy, like, legitimately who was going to buy us.
You didn't want Nick Candy? What's wrong with you? Proper English owner?
The Ricketts.
The
Ricketts. Oh, my days. I forgot about the Ricketts.
And
you go in prison. You go in prison.
We were the Saudis were after us.
The Saudis were never going to. Saudis.
Yeah, it takes a while, doesn't it?
Because then the next one's on the chopping block for soon. So, but I just think, listen. We could, in that May 30th, we couldn't sell a Mars bar at this club, let alone all our thinking. And we were always going to be behind the 8 ball. I heard you say we needed to hire DOF first. That wasn't going to be the choice because we were so far behind the transfer plans of everyone.
Fair enough. Yeah, fair enough.
Taking over, Marina and Czech left because they didn't see eye to eye. They wanted to keep Lukaku, and Lukaku wanted out, stuff like that, and Bruce Buck going as well. So it's a big overturn, right? So he's had to take on this DOF role himself while he's trying to collaborate with a manager who's there. There's no buffers in between like there was before. There was straight contact. There's usually buffers in between. That's why you get a DOF and everything like that. You get someone to run the club day to day, because you then have communications that way. They obviously clashed. They didn't see eye to eye, and like he said, they even try. All this like, oh, why these players? They wanted to sign Ronaldo. He didn't. They backed him by not signing Ronaldo. They got rid of the players. They got rid of Billy Gilmore. He didn't want Billy Gilmore. They got rid of Billy Gilmore. I think these players are all with Tuchel's approval. I do. I think they are. Whether they can play the same Potter or not, I think they're all with his approval, because he saw he said no to Ronaldo, like I said, and they wanted to bring him in. With the criticism of it, it's going to happen. Remember, I saw people wanting Roman out when he sat Lampard.
Yeah.
So, do you know?
That is true. That is very true.
Yes. Member.
Yes, that is very true.
I just think we have to get our minds try and get our minds out of the Roman era, how we're running as a club, because for the past 5 to 7 years, I don't think we've been run as well as we can be. We should be bigger than we are. We should be what we are in a global sense, in what they're hoping to try and do with us. We should be. The squad has been woefully neglected in terms of who we've signed. You know what I mean? It's been signed because the club wanted to sign them. And there's not been good signings, price range and everything like that. When it comes to Boehly and the ideas and stuff like that, listen, I'm fine with whoever it is, of an owner saying what they want to do with ideas and stuff like that. They put 4.25 billion to buy this club, another nearly 300 million on transfers, and 800 million nearly put aside to renovate the stadium. So they can hire and fire who they want, essentially. Now, is it harsh? I think it's harsh, but I can see. I keep telling people, it's like he said there. It's not because of the result. It's not solely because of the results and the football. It's about everything. It's about him not willing to collaborate and help them. Because I'm sure they were trying to ask for his help and not being available to help. So
left them on red on WhatsApp and all that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Whatever WhatsApp. I just think people should be open-minded. This is a new era, and it's not going to be. Hopefully, it's not going to be like before. Like you said, I don't think Potter gets sacked in a year.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
Open-minded wise, I think, like you said, like Harry said, this guy has to be given a chance the next 2 transfer windows to see what he wants to do.
I feel like a lot of people forget how hard it was when Roman first joined, because a lot, and I hate to say it, but a lot of people that support Chelsea now weren't supporting Chelsea at the beginning of the Roman Empire. They weren't. I will say this now. I was forced into it because my dad is a die-hard Chelsea fan, so I myself had no choice. However, when Roman first bought Chelsea, you had Drogba, who is now one of the biggest legends at the club ever. Yeah. One of the biggest influences on Chelsea's history currently ever. Yeah. But then if you ask a lot of the current Chelsea fans, why did you love Drogba? It's like, because he was a game player. I don't have his shirt here for no reason. He had
the minerals, man.
He's my idol. He is my idol, and I guarantee you, I will either interview him, or I will talk to him, or I will be on a video with him one day. I promise you that right now. However,
I hope you do.
A lot of people don't fucking remember that he was a diving little bastard when he first joined Chelsea. He was horrible. Yeah. He was horrible to watch. He was horrible to watch at Chelsea. And I guarantee you, even if he saw me saying this about him right now, he would laugh because it was like, yeah, I know, I was a little bastard playing for Chelsea. I was
It's
not
that
a good
revisionist history you're
footballer,
talking about,
but-
Ahmed.
But he was like, I didn't want to play for Chelsea. He's openly said I didn't like playing for Chelsea.
Yeah, he wanted to leave.
But he wanted to leave really early on. He dived all over the place. But I guarantee you, the same way that people are looking at Boehly being a rash decision, you got to remember Ranieri didn't last very long at Chelsea. When he was at Chelsea, when
one season, one season.
Yeah. He lasted longer than Tuchel.
Actually, do you know what, Harry? Sorry to interrupt. This is very similar to when Roman took over.
It's exactly the same.
So I tell you,
honestly.
everyone forgets that first summer was scattergun transfers. We signed one Sebastian Veron and Joe Cole on the same day. We
God,
signed them on
Verone.
the same
Oh my
day.
days.
We signed
Yes.
Ben Johnson. We swapped Wayne
Sebastian
Bridge.
Veron.
We swapped Wayne Bridge. We bought Wayne Bridge, sent Graham Lasso out. We bought Crespo and Mutu. We bought McAnally on the nearly last day of the season. We bought Jeremy.
Yeah, we went ham.
We bought
Did you
Jeremy.
buy Sidwell as well in that season? Was that
No, Sidwell was 07.
That was like a,
But also,
he went to my school, by the way, to see him.
also,
Steve Sidwell went to my school.
there was no worry about. There was no issue. Obviously, social media wasn't around, so you couldn't tell. But it's
Yeah.
But what I mean is, it's like, then what Roman did, he bought Peter Kenyon in from Manchester United that first season. Now he didn't start to about like the 04 like that, but he brought people in to run the club. Yeah, that's what he's done, and this is the same, nearly the same. It's a similar approach. You got because Roman Abramovich was well known for his football opinions, wasn't he, guys? When he bought us, you know what I mean?
That's what I'm saying too.
Day after he bought Chelsea, he bid for Vieira and Henry. Do you know what I mean? He put.
Did he want to buy Ronaldinho as well? I remember that one.
Well, I don't know. He wanted to buy everyone. That's what I mean. That's the scattergun approach. He just went like that. No one complained then. Do you know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
But I just think like everyone's just got to be open-minded. We're not. For me, I'm keeping an open mind because I don't know what to expect from this new regime because I don't think it's going to be the same.
It won't
as
be
Roman
the same.
Abramovich.
It
Exactly, it won't be the same. So I have to now.
We can speculate. We can say all we want, like you're saying, my man. It's all up in the air. It's up for debate. It's literally why we're here right now.
Yeah.
But back then, the people that are speculating of like legends like Drogba saying like. I guarantee you, the same people that are doubting players now, I'm doing the exact same thing, but I'm just saying, they would have doubted Drogba exactly the same. They'd be like, he's a diving bastard. He's a shit footballer. He's absolute trash. And get him out of my club.
Dude, we did.
Those same players, there is at least one or two footballers that we have right now that are absolute dog shit right now.
Yeah.
Who will eventually. There is one currently who will be a legend, as Drogba is 100%, 100%, without a shadow of a doubt. They just have to earn it the same way he did because he was a diving bastard before.
Yeah.
And no one liked him. No one liked Drogba, and Drogba made it very clear he wanted to go back to Marseille or leave.
Yeah.
He made it very, very obvious he wanted to leave.
Yeah, he did.
The same way that I would argue, because, might I say, as much as I dislike Ziyech, he joined around the same age, maybe even younger, that Drogba joined Chelsea. Because Drogba joined at a very old age.
26 he joined.
Yeah, exactly.
26, yeah. He didn't, yeah, because he didn't.
But Drogba,
he
joined, had a good start, then didn't have a bad. He didn't have a good sort of like stage with the Chelsea fans, a good rapport with the Chelsea fans. No one liked Drogba for a long time, much like Ziyech is in the stage right now. I genuinely, now I've had time to think about it, literally as I'm saying this, I feel like if Ziyech sticks with the Chelsea fan group, it might be a bit different.
Does he have that? Does he have that? What does Ziyech have? Like, you know,
he doesn't have the Drogba in him. He doesn't have the Drogba in him, and let alone the dog in him. He doesn't have the Drogba in him. But a part of me wants that in him because he gets me real good views on my reactions from
get the views of it now.
The Moroccan fans love my reactions for Ziyech's goals, so I hope Ziyech pulls it together. But
I mean, since we're on the topic of Ziyech,
it's kind of similar. It's kind of similar. Sorry.
Since we're on the topic of Ziyech, no, you're fine, man. Since we're on the topic of Ziyech, I mean, I might as well bring this up too. I know, Andrew, I know you might disagree, but with Ziyech, I feel like he's one of the few attackers that we have that actually he's the only attacker that we have outside of Raheem Sterling, and we haven't really seen Aubameyang too much to really criticize, but he's one of the attackers that we have that I feel gets criticized the most for doing what the other attackers don't do, which is try to create, try to score goals, try to find yourself in scoring positions and all that. And although, yes, he's not Drogba, he's not the best finisher. I mean, we saw against Salzburg, he missed a clear one, right? And across that looked like it was a shot and very poor. We see it in the game, but what I would say to that is that he's at least trying, unlike our other attackers. And I don't understand why the fan base is so hard to criticize him for doing that. I just don't get it. When the other attackers like Havertz, and I love Havertz, but Havertz, Mount, Pulisic, they're not even doing that.
The problem is Pulisic's hardly got any minutes this season. This season, he's hardly got any minutes. Did he start a game yet?
No.
Pulisic started a game. Pulisic started against Zagreb, I'm pretty sure, didn't he?
No, he didn't.
No. It was the Premier League game. It was West Ham. It was West Ham that he started.
He started West Ham. Thank you.
He came off. But then. But
Ziyech hasn't even gotten that.
The issue I have is I'm not going to credit anyone who tries hard. So I'll tell you why. That should be minimum.
Basically.
Yeah, of course.
The issue I have is, and you're right, but if you notice this season, Kai Havertz is not being let off in the fan base. He's not being let off. Werner, his safety blanket, is gone. Yeah, Werner is gone. Lukaku is gone. He's the main man, essentially. Mount's always going to be criticised no matter what. It's
he's just Mount at this point. Yeah.
But with Ziyech, he wanted to go. Okay? He wanted to go. Yeah. He wanted to go. He left after the Leeds game to go to Amsterdam to negotiate. He was going to go.
Oh, yeah, he did, didn't he?
That's true.
We couldn't agree a deal. He then came back, and then Tuchel played him for the whole game against Southampton. Didn't do anything apart from that thing that he does where he passes the ball once in a game long, and that's it. Comes on against Zagreb, one of the worst performances ever in any game I've ever seen in a Chelsea shirt. Impacted negatively on everything on both sides. And the same against Salzburg. I don't know what it is that you see in this guy to deserve your backing.
You must be
because
doing something.
He has not earned your backing at all. He has not done anything in a Chelsea shirt to earn your backing like this. And I'm sorry to say this, but he is not suited for this league and our team. He's just not.
I agree with what you're saying. And you're right. He hasn't done anything to deserve his backing. The only thing I'm stating is that out of all of our attackers, minus Raheem, he seems to have done the most. He seems to even try to do the most. And if you had to back any of the attackers, I would say probably Ziyech is the one that would arguably get the most, should deserve the most backing based on what he's tried to do on the pitch.
Disagree.
Why?
What has he done? Hang on. What has he done that's been successful? What chances has he done? What has he done?
What has any of our attackers done that's been successful?
Well, Kai scored the winner against West Ham for what his failings are.
Are we
He
talking about this
scored
season?
against West Ham.
Yeah.
This season, yeah. he scored
Okay,
against
this
West Ham.
season, yeah. No, I agree with
I'm
you.
talking about
On this season, none.
listen,
Yeah, okay.
I'm not doing this. I'm not doing this last season. I'm doing right
Okay,
now.
yeah.
Let's do
All
it
right,
right
all
now
right.
because Kai doesn't get off. This whole Champions League winning Club World Cup penalty scoring is done. It's gone. That's run out.
Yeah.
It's run out. Okay. What's he done? Mount hasn't done anything either. But if we're concentrating just solely on Ziyech, and I don't want to do this, what has anyone else done? Like, because I think that's just a cop out, and then we get swayed. Then we do this argument, and basically we're doing trash versus garbage at the moment. So
Yes.
Ziyech comes on and he just kicks the ball long. There's no substance. There's no aim of who is he trying to aim for. He just he's so left-footed, but his shots on his left foot are so weak. They're so timid and weak when he connects with them. There's nothing behind them whatsoever. You know, I thought he turned the corner last season. I think it was late January, like February, when he had sort of like a 4 or 5 game run. When he was playing, you know that banger he scored against Spurs and he was in a couple of games.
Yes.
When he played the keeper there,
You're
wasn't
talking about a Ziyech, aren't you?
Yeah.
You started this.
What I'm saying is, but what I'm doing is I don't want to compare him to other players because there's not, it's trash versus garbage at the moment, apart from Sterling.
Yes,
And
I agree.
I'll leave Drogba out because he's not had.
He doesn't want to play for Chelsea.
Exactly, that's what I said.
Yes.
He was on a flight, man.
I was saying this on Lewis's stream. It's nothing against Ziyech.
Yes.
There are. I will list it. There are a few factors. He's old.
Yeah.
He's not old in the sense of like he's in his late 30s, like defenders.
Yeah.
Defenders and goalkeepers, Thiago Silva, Neuer, or the rest of them. When they hit their 30s, they're in their prime. They're in their prime. They are the best they will ever be. Ziyech, there is. I'm sorry. I hate to be the best. I hate to tell you. There's one good clip of him in his entire career that I can think of, and it's that one picture. We all know the fucking clip. It's when it's the one where it's like the low camera and he pings it across the fucking. We all know the clip that I'm thinking of.
Yep.
He did it against Southampton.
We know that Hakim Ziyech is a spectacular footballer, but for Chelsea, he is not. He is not. He's not, and he's not suited for the Premier League. I'm sorry.
That's why when he was linked to,
I will
Harry,
say this right now.
He
is a very, very good football player, but for Chelsea and in the Premier League, he is not. I am a very, very big fan of him. He's got me very many views on my YouTube channel, but I thank him for that. But apart from that, it's as simple as that. That's all he's good for. His views. That's all he's good for.
God damn. What were you saying, Adam?
If you heard,
Andrew?
There's 2 things. Sorry to interrupt. That's why when he was linked, he should have gone to Serie A because I think Serie A suits his game and the way he wants to play, the pace of it.
Slow.
Yeah, that's what I mean. He could do.
He's lazy. He's a lazy bastard. He's a lazy little bastard.
I don't know if that's a fair criticism, but okay.
I don't know if you noticed this, Harry, or anyone else. If you heard the crowd on Wednesday, whenever he did something, you heard it. It was different. It was different from anyone else. That whenever he did something, it was oh fuck you know, stuff like that, like they always do. They know he doesn't want to be there.
In Ziyech's defence, everyone was waiting for him to make a wrong pass so they could criticise him. I find that's wrong.
Yeah.
And jokes aside, when I was saying like views and all that sort of stuff, but like I genuinely, in the signing of it was Werner, Havertz, and Ziyech, they are the 3 players I absolutely adore. Werner's gone, Ziyech is shite, and by his own fault. That's the thing, is that he's not shit. He just doesn't care for the side. He doesn't care.
Yeah. This is the comment right here is how I see it.
The one that he stays in the club because he actually is trying to make something of himself. Ziyech doesn't care.
Yeah.
Havertz,
I don't know.
You know where it is?
Go
yeah?
ahead. Go ahead, Ahmed.
I've seen Ziyech, yeah. I've seen Ziyech when I've been to the stadium before, and I've watched him play, and it always seems like that there's like he's always like half of the actual pace of the game where
he's too cool for it.
Yeah, and that's the thing, innit? Like I don't feel like his game is suited for the PL. Like it's not suited for our team. And we can always. I know that we always talk about attackers and everything, but the reality is some of our attackers like Pulisic. If you want to go into him, for example, Pulisic has had like a lot of chances, particularly last season. But the problem is half the time he's on the medical bay. So if we're being honest about Pulisic, we can say we want to give him more minutes. Yeah, that's a fair point. But at the same time, he's injured half the season as well. So. So
but then he acts really hard done by. That's the thing.
And that's the problem.
He acts like he's been dropped. He hasn't been dropped. You're injured all the fucking time because you cannot be relied on because you are so injury prone.
But let me propose this scenario, right? Let's just, for argument's sake, right? If we had the ideal team, let's just say we had a Benzema in our team. Don't you think that if Ziyech played with a Benzema, a proper striker, a proper finisher, that in those appearances that he had, despite the injuries, right, in the appearances that he's made for Chelsea, we would have at least had an average of Ziyech getting 1 assist per game with a fucking proper striker, with a proper finisher.
No. Did you see the crosses that he was coming up with against Dinamo Zagreb?
But that's the other thing that I want to that's the other thing I want to bring back to against Dinamo Zagreb.
It was nowhere near the corner.
But the thing is, Marshall, we've had an example of this. Marshall, we've had an example of this. Yeah, even though we don't like to say his name, Lukaku last season was that sort of guy that you wanted. And with Lukaku, we saw what happened as well. Like,
hey, listen, man.
I don't like Lukaku. Like, can't fucking vouch for me that I do not like Lukaku. But we had Lukaku last season, and he was always in the box. And Ziyech was not crossing even to him. So listen, let's not say about that debate. That's what
let's get this out of the way. If Ziyech goes, he goes, and I think he should go because he doesn't want to play for the club. And I don't want anyone. I really don't want anyone in the team that is not going to be playing for the club, doesn't want to play for the club. And if he's going to put lackluster performances, which to a degree I think he is somewhat trying, but I see where you guys are coming from. That Dinamo Zagreb game, prior to him coming on, we weren't doing absolute shit. After we conceded that goal, Sterling, Aubameyang weren't doing a damn thing. That the clearest opportunity we had was prior to conceding that goal. When Ziyech came on, he at least tried to change the game up a little bit, and that's why I give him a little bit of credit. It wasn't good.
The last game.
No, this is hang on. This is what I don't get about you, Marshall. How are you watching this and seeing him? You're falling for this try hard bullshit. This whole him moving about doing so. I'm not. This is like the thing with Kai sometimes. Oh, he's running about, he's putting in, he's doing that, and he gets off. He gets let off. You're doing the same thing for Ziyech. You're seeing him move about, run about more than some of the others. What is the substance? What is the outcome of what he's doing? It's all shit. Yeah? It's all shit. Overhit crosses that are not aimed at anyone. They might as well have the goalie.
Intentionally bad as well.
Intentionally bad, yeah. And the shots, rubbish shots on his left foot, on his favoured sole left foot, are weak, timid, and don't do anything. If you're going to put the ball in,
you had 3 chances. Three chances.
If you're going to put the ball in the box, you might as well have the goalkeeper just hit it long. You might as well have the goalkeeper hit it long. That's how much he impacts. You're falling for his stride or his move because the others weren't doing it. That's what you're falling for.
I see where you're coming from.
Twice in the Champions League has come on and has put in some of the worst performances as a substitute ever that I've seen for the last years. Yeah. People criticise Willian for doing the same thing.
Let's not measure Willian.
One of the best in the game as well, Willian.
But got more assists than some of our players.
Ziyech couldn't tie Willian's bootlaces at this club. Okay, he couldn't tie them. Ziyech, that's why. Why do you think someone's brought this? I think praise to Adam's Prime. Why do you not think it took till he turned 28 years old for him to leave Ajax? Why do you think no one else signed him? Because when someone does well in the Dutch league, they usually pick them up around early 20s, maybe 24 at the latest. It took 28 for him to leave.
Was he at Ajax like the whole time? Because I didn't know about him when he was 24 or 25.
He was at the other club before Ajax.
No, he wasn't. No, but what I'm saying is...
He wasn't.
Yeah.
I get what you mean. He was at...
but you know what I'm saying, right?
He was at FC...
No, I didn't know what you're saying.
Yeah.
He was at FC
But here's the
20.
thing.
He was at FC Twente for 2 years. Then he went to Ajax for 4 years.
And you know what? You know what's really funny? What's really funny? Hold on. Well, you know what's really funny? If you say Ziyech loud enough 3 times, Alexis Kafka's you shows up in the chat.
Hey, Pedro was actually pretty good.
Alexis, do you want to come on? If you want to come on, I'll give you the link. But there's the thing. Like, I get where you're coming from, and yes, the crosses are bad. But I would also argue that like we not even just with Ziyech's crosses, we're talking about Reece James, Chilwell. How many times do we get crosses into the box and finishers not being in the right positions to finish those crosses?
That's different. That's different. No, that's sometimes
no problem.
It is often, but also they will. It's because there are people in the box, but they're not moving to it. So you saw it. You saw it even against Salzburg. I think someone put in. I think it was maybe Sterling putting the ball from left, and it was actually a great ball in the middle, but no one. Kai was there, but he didn't move. He didn't move for the ball. That's the difference. Ziyech, he just boots it with his left. He just boots it with his left, like a Sunday League player. Who just no one's in there, and he just boots it in there like that. He does. He just boots it in there.
No, I'll give it to you. Yeah.
Even Aspilicueta in the past
don't
was putting better crosses than this man.
Aspie's crosses are actually
Not this
good.
season.
I was going to say, Aspilicueta this season is shite. I know.
not this season.
I love Dave, but fuck me, Aspilicueta this season is dog shit.
He just hasn't got the legs no more.
Yeah.
So bad.
Yeah.
And he shouldn't be used as a main star either.
Marshall has
Can't
fallen.
defend it anymore.
Marshall,
The fact that Aspilicueta made it into Potter's starting 11 for his first game is...
I think it's for
It's
experience.
shameful. It's shameful. It's so bad. It's so bad. I'm sorry. It's so
Marshall
bad.
Ziyech would go in
It's so
your-
bad.
Ziyech
I
would go
love
in your
Dave,
first 11.
but he's so shit. He's shit. And fuck
Ziyech
me.
would go to what 11?
Ziyech would go in that hard work 11 we're going to do. Probably your hard work.
You know what it is? You know what it is, Marshall?
Yeah, we're gonna do that. Ahmed, go ahead, bro.
Marshall has fallen here for what people that also like Mount sometimes fall for, which is, if he runs the hard yards, passion.
Oh, no. Come on, bro. This guy.
He hasn't won around.
All my argument is that Ziyech, all my argument is that from what I've seen of our attackers, Ziyech seems to be offering something different than, although it's shit, I'll agree, it's shit. I agree it's shit, okay? All I'm saying is that from what I've seen this season, Ziyech seems to be the only one offering any different solution than what our current attack is.
How?
No, he's not.
How?
He's not.
Tell me how.
Not a solution.
Tell me how.
I know. We're not
Please tell me how.
about it. I don't want to keep dragging on about it because I'm just going to end up repeating myself.
Don't make a statement like that and not tell us how, please.
It's because he kicks the ball into to the box or
He's
like
shit.
Zedro or...
He's so very bad. He's so very bad for Chelsea. Ziyech,
Yes.
I'm
I can tell this hurts Marshall,
oh my God.
man.
I was such a big
Listen.
Ziyech fan, but oh God, I hate him so much. He's so bad.
If Ziyech left in the summer, I would have been fine. You know,
I know, me
it would have been shitty because I feel like he is a good player, and it just didn't work out for him at Chelsea. What I think Ziyech offers different than our current attack is one, the ability to play with the good ability to play with an overlapping runner. When he has an overlapping runner like a Reece or not Aspie, but like a Reece, he tends to play decently. Yes, he's a cross in the box merchant, but his crosses we don't criticize James for doing that. And his crosses are equally as good as James's crosses. That's what he's good for. Yes, he doesn't have a right foot, but
Ziyech is that player though. Ziyech is that overrunning player. He's the overlapping player. He's lanky. He's so tall, like not tall, but He's at that athletic He shouldn't be thinking who's overlapping me. He's that athletic. He should be thinking, I have the ability to produce those balls. We know from that very, very prolific ball that he played that he is that good. I don't understand this whole thing of like Ziyech should be given time or Ziyech should be given like
I'm not saying that. I am not saying that. Just saying. Yeah.
I am a very, very, very big.
Yeah.
What's the word? I love Ziyech. I think he is so good at football. However, he's not good at football for Chelsea. He does not fit the style of play for Chelsea, and so he needs to go. He doesn't want to play for Chelsea. He doesn't want to play for Chelsea.
Yeah,
I agree. He should go just because he doesn't want to play for Chelsea.
Yeah, he's Chelsea out, man.
I'm not sure if you're being sarcastic or not, but like
no, I'm being serious. Yeah.
Genuinely looks like he does not give a fuck about Chelsea Football Club.
Yeah.
He left after
when I watch him, he doesn't fucking care. He doesn't care.
Yeah.
What about Pulisic is the same? Even Pulisic is the same. Like those two guys do not want to play. Both of them wanted to leave, and we didn't let them leave. So it's technically our fault that we couldn't.
No. The difference is with Ziyech. There was a deal lined up. We just asked them to pay literally what we paid them for it, and they didn't want to pay it.
Yes, but now he's playing for us and acting like he does not care, which is why against Dinamo Zagreb he doesn't fucking care. He's booting the ball over the bar in situations where he's good enough to make. Listen, I'm not being funny. He can make a first touch. You all know the exact cross I'm talking about when I'm saying that he skied it over the bar.
Yeah.
Against Dinamo Zagreb, he could have made a first touch. No one was pressing him.
Yeah,
he could have made a first touch, even if there were people that were pressing on him. He could have made a first touch, very quick. He has the quality. Could have made the first touch and then crossed it in for as quick as he felt was necessary. But he doesn't care. He doesn't want to play for Chelsea. He doesn't fucking care about Chelsea.
Let's move on for Ziyech. We're getting angry over it.
I'm just saying.
Look,
No.
I don't
I'm just
disagree,
saying.
though.
On a final note, I'm just saying. I love Ziyech. I think he is an exceptional football player. He's very old in his position. I think he should know. I think he should know better. I think he should be playing better for the position that he's playing in for a club like Chelsea Football Club.
Yes.
But I think he knows he is not good enough to play in the position he is for a club as good as Chelsea Football Club. That's all I have to say.
I agree.
Yeah. And you know what? Like, this conversation did open my eyes up a little bit. This conversation did open our eyes up a little bit on you guys' perspective on it. I still think there's I'm not even continue, but my point being is that we'll see what happens with Ziyech. Maybe Potter gets something out of him. I would like to see him play a little more. If he wants to play for this club, maybe Potter changes his mind. We'll see. But there is a talent. At least we can agree there is a talent in that player. But it's just not for Chelsea.
They used to be.
It used to be. Okay, let's continue on with the Boehly stuff that I wanted to discuss. This is pretty much about Boehly's, I guess, approach on Chelsea and how we're gonna go about changing the club and the whole DOF situation.
Yeah, we're not expecting to be, the football experts to find the best talent. We're going to put these people in place. And I think it's no different than running any human capital business where it's all about getting the right resources, making them collaborate, getting them organized, thinking about, how you have global business at a local level. So, I think we're going to be continuously adding resources. I think we've been talked about having a multi-club model. I would love to, continue to build out the footprint. I think that, there's different countries where there's advantages to having a club. Red Bull does a really good job. They've got Leipzig and they've got Salzburg. both of which are playing in Champions League. So they've figured out how to make that work. You have Man City, which has a very big network of clubs. Because I think the challenge that Chelsea has right now, one of them, is that when you have 18, 19, 20-year-old superstars, you can loan them out to other clubs, but you put their development in someone else's hands, right? So I think that our goal is to make sure we can show pathways for our young superstars to get onto the Chelsea pitch while getting them real game time. And to me, the way to do that is through another club somewhere in a really competitive league in Europe.
So that's a big thing that he said right there that I really need to point out. And although I understand he's not like a footballing expert, Roman wasn't either. But at least with Boehly, he's got this idea of how he wants to run the club going forward and how he wants to develop the youth, because he sees that's an issue. That's an issue that Chelsea have had for a very long time. We have all these great youth players or players that come into this club at a young age and go off to other clubs and become superstars, and then we have to buy them back. I think he's seen that issue, and I like that we're going to become this franchise, which Harry, you pointed out earlier, that this idea of building a franchising and farming our own youth in a sense. I just, again, this criticism on Boehly, I think it's absurd. I think we need to stop with this heavy. We could criticize Boehly, obviously, but criticize him when he actually does something bad, not because of stupid, like he said 4-4-3, or he mistakenly thought that Salah and De Bruyne came from our academy.
That's what I was gonna say.
Yeah. You know what it is? Yeah, I've this Salzburg pick of this gentleman. Yeah, I think it's a good idea. I feel like Chelsea previously with Vitesse Arnhem, that was sort of meant to be like.
I was gonna say the same thing.
That was
Vitesse,
yeah.
This whole illusion. I'll let you carry on, but to say is it's like this whole illusion that Todd Boehly is coming in with this vision that is correct, and he thinks that we need this like brand on the side of us. Of course, there's Man City and there's Melbourne City and there's all this sort of stuff.
They've got one in Italy.
We've had Vitesse. I had a thing that we had Lewis Baker. We had Matic went to Vitesse. We had Mason Mount went to Vitesse. Yeah. We had. I'm fairly sure. You have to bear with me for 1 second. Vitesse. There are more players.
Matt Miazga went there as well.
Matt Miazga went there. Yeah. There are more players that went to Vitesse than you would think as well. As in that ended up being like really, really good players as well.
Yeah.
I can't be asked looking up right now, but in terms of like everyone knows the whole joke of like if Chelsea want a player to go on loan, fuck them off to Vitesse or whatever. This idea that Boehly has is not new, but it's also not a bad idea because he wants to make it a franchise. That's the thing.
Yeah. One thing that we need to consider going up, like we've already had Vitesse, getting another one somewhere like in Portugal or France where
the Portugal one is what I've been hearing a lot.
But I mean, Vitesse isn't going to be one of them though. That's the thing.
I wouldn't be surprised if they did something with the pot where they strengthened the partnership alongside another feeder club. I can see that probably happening.
DC United is one of them, is it not?
But you know what it is like? It's like actually what the baseball franchise does in terms of like
that is what he's going off of. Though.
Yeah, AAA,
even like Real Madrid is that.
It's a farming system. It's a farming system.
Like La Liga.
It's a farming system. It's also a way to. With the rules changing around Brexit and people having visas and everything like that. It's also a way around to get the South American talents, the African talents, stuff like that. Get their visa better to go through another club first or loan them that way. And if they're good enough, then they go up. Then they go up to Chelsea. And it'd be easier if they like go into another European club, like a Portuguese club somewhere, but for a couple of years, while they get the visa and stuff like that up, or the rules or something like that to go around. It's also like not. You know what it is? It's because no one else really. I know City do it, but you don't really see anyone coming through City apart from Foden and this Cole.
Mac T, and that's it. And Mac T.
But what I mean is they're not. You hear them buying like clubs and everything like that, but you don't really see the fruits of the labour at the moment. Whether we'll see that, but you know, Harry's right. It's not a new idea, but it's not a bad idea. It's a very good idea.
But
he has the idea. It's just the Vitesse meme is now being brought to life.
Yeah.
If you get what I mean. But Marshall, I apologize. It's your show.
No, you're fine. You're fine. What I was gonna say too on you guys' point was what I like the most is that he's pointing out that with this farm system, you can at least loan out players to develop how you want them to develop. You saw how shitty that backfired for Gilmore at Norwich. If we could avoid situations like that where we send out these players to loans at clubs where they're going to be benched and stuff, I think if we avoid that, I think we end up becoming a very, very stable club. And like you guys said, continuing that whole Vitesse model, which, look, I'm all for it. And again, the criticism on Boehly, I think, is really unfair. It's really unfair. Maybe because he's just American.
You know
the problem. Oh, go ahead, Chris. Yeah.
Sorry?
Go ahead, Chris.
I was gonna say the loan system though, but hasn't the loan system like changed? Like we can't loan out as many as we like because we used to have like a massive loan out.
That's the. I think there's an age limit, and also there's like.
Also, you have to remember we were loaning out like 40.
Loan army.
We had a loan army. Loan army is
we can't loan out as many, can we? Still though, right?
Yeah, and the other problem is
I think there's an age limit, isn't there? It's like an
age limit, and you can't do it in the final year of their contract as well, I believe. Yeah.
Also, doesn't it work differently when it's within your own club or something like that?
Well, no,
I don't know.
Well, no, but I think maybe
the idea is the whole thing that Todd Boehly wants to bring on board is Man City has Melbourne City and whoever the fuck else
New York
that they
City
have.
and stuff like
New York City FC, yeah.
But is that they are loaned on their thing like this. And so, because they're on loan, they can come back to them straight away. There is no obligation to buy. There's no, price cap. There's no transfer fee involved. It's because, for instance, there's Man City, Melbourne City, and New York City. They're all a brand. The idea is that obviously, like Man City is the peak of their brand. At least that's what I've gauged from this whole thing. It's just like Todd Boehly thinks that like there's going to be a Chelsea FC, and eventually we're going to see like the equivalent of like a Melbourne City FC. We're going to see like an equivalent of
Red Bull.
Yeah, that there's going to be different countries that have like their own variation of Chelsea, which is going to be so weird to see. But we're gonna see it. And wherever you are around the world, the idea is that you're gonna be able to see the upcoming talents playing in your country. So, for instance, you've got New York City FC. You've got Man City. You've got Man City who are in England. You've got New York City who are in America. You've got Melbourne who are in Australia. That's three different continents.
Plus, you can
Chelsea don't have that. That's the thing.
I don't.
And that is what Boehly wants, is because although, and a lot of people don't get this, he cares about the money, yes, but he also cares because he knows that the more it grows, the more money he's going to make.
They've got a 10-year, what's it called, like locking it or something like that, until they can get money, right? So
no. They can't take dividends out.
So
they can't make a severe like profit until 10 years have happened. But my point is like I do genuinely feel like Boehly will try his hardest. Let's be honest, he's a billionaire already. What does he have to benefit already? I don't get what he has to benefit other than we might as well we got Chelsea FC. We might as well make a Chelsea New York FC or whatever the fuck that he wants.
Please do.
And then make a like an Australian version, and then just loan off those players, play them in different countries, and that's it. Then they're safe. They're looked after. Then everyone can develop, and then go back to Chelsea as the primary club. But the idea being that all the foreign clubs are reserve or like under 21s or something like that. The only difference is with like Man City is that we don't see this because we don't fucking care. That's it.
Yeah. Also, I think you might find that these transfers initially won't appear on Chelsea's books because the clubs will be funded by.
We won't know.
No, exactly. But what I mean is, whatever clubs will be funded by the owners of Chelsea, but won't actually come from Chelsea. If you understand what I'm saying, so everyone knows that if these players sign for whatever the feeder clubs are, it'll be under that contract to that feeder club. But everyone will know that if they're good enough, they're going to go to Chelsea, or the chain they'll go to this club, then to that club. It won't appear as a Chelsea transfer. If you understand what I'm saying, when someone goes like, in our budget, we spent this, but they're online, they're going to this. I presume. I could be totally wrong. But
I would also argue, one thing I was going to add as well is, with City, even though we haven't seen the fruits of their labour, right now they've got an owner who's basically a billionaire who can also provide the necessary transfers under Pep. I wouldn't be surprised post Pep if we start to see, a lot more of those fruits starting to happen where they're bringing kids or guys that they've loaned out over there, and then we sort of see it then. Because right now they're sort of going through their golden age under Pep, so you wouldn't see it now, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah. How you doing, Prime? Welcome to the stream, brother. So now, what happened?
I said you're wrong Prime here now. I'm just joking.
Prime's always late to the party, but right now, actually, you know what? Let's just move on to the next topic I wanted to talk about. But that was a good discussion, guys, and it is looking promising, and I hope it does work out. Let's talk about N'Golo Kante's contract situation. This is going to be... Yeah, we can hear you now. You were muted before. But anyways, let's go ahead and talk about this. PYS tweeted out that Chelsea owner made a 2+1 year contract offer to Kante, but he's not accepting as he wants longer. Injuries are being factored in, and this is coming from David Ornstein. Now, my opinion on this is that Kante, I think he's got to go. I'm not trying to keep Kante for longer. I'm not. He's not. We have to be honest with ourselves. He's just not been available for the club enough to really make the most out of him. He only showed up for the first 2 games of the season and just injured again for the same injury that he's been nursing over the summer. So it's at that point where, like, I think we have to cut our losses and sell Kante for what we can now, and hopefully we can get a contract agreement now to do it. What's up?
Is there any losses on him? Because we only paid 30 million, and we did get our year's worth out of him. But like, if he wants a longer, like, say if he wants 4 years or whatever, he needs to cut his like wage down or whatever, because he shouldn't be on 300k a week, and like you said, getting injured all the time, not really playing. He can't be on 4 years on 300k a week. That's just too much to ask. And I don't know who his agent is. Maybe his agent talks.
Very, very quickly. Also, for a man that bangs on about someone, he doesn't care about money, and he drives a Mini Cooper. He cares about money quite a lot when it comes to renewing his contract. That's all I've got to say.
That is ironic, isn't it?
I love Kante. Don't get me wrong. However, when it comes to renewing his contract, he kind of cares about money quite a little bit.
Of course, you know what? I mean, I don't love Kante. This nice guy act is just like, of course, this guy needs to.
You don't think Kante's a nice guy?
bro, hey, there's a cheating scandal gonna come out in a few years. Anyway,
this guy sounds like Andrew Tate. I'm not gonna lie.
People can say in terms of like his quality and stuff, which is all well and good. When you're not even on the pitch, it doesn't mean anything to me. This guy.
I agree.
this guy he really does need to go. And like for all the people who don't rate Jorginho, Kante is also a part of the reason why Jorginho plays all of the time. Because he just doesn't stay fit enough. Same with Kovacic. I mean, taking Kante's age as well, and what Kante's best attributes are, which is all the physical stuff. And
pros and cons to Jorginho. That's the question.
No. Again, I'm just using the point of like, yeah, I'm fine with Kante going. If PSG are so interested, then I have Campos. I don't know if they would be, but PSG are so interested. Sell him there.
They're gonna get it for free. They're gonna get him for free, man. I'm telling you.
Oh, okay, cool. Let him go for free. It's fine.
Yeah, that's the thing. Kante, Jorginho go for free. I'm just gonna let you know that right now. Kante, Jorginho go for free at the end of the summer.
You think Jorginho's not gonna sign a contract?
Or even if we renew their contract,
I have a feeling he will.
I'm assuming there has to be.
Not care less.
The thing is, if we renew their contract, I'm assuming there's a plan in place of we renew their contract, but they're still being sold at the end of this season or the end of next season.
I would see. My thing would be offer him a 1-year extension and then just try and sell him in the summer.
Yeah,
I'd still give it to him anyway. But I think that people have to. This fan base has to split the idea of what Kante was to what Kante is. That's the problem.
Yeah, that's what I have to do with Aspie.
I do think somehow he's like he's the nice guy. He's an ultimate villain, like one of those films. And at the end, it's like it just does a 180 like that. And he's like head of a criminal empire somewhere, allegedly. But
not allegedly. He is. Not allegedly.
Allegedly, please. Kante, if you're watching, I'm sorry.
I will say this. Originally, they were talking about 3+1, massive mistake. 2+1 is a big mistake as well. If he doesn't accept it, let him go. I'm fine with letting him go. The problem is the problem isn't about letting Kante go. It's who do you replace him with? What you have to also do is in your back of your mind go, you're not searching for another N'Golo Kante. Yeah? There's not another N'Golo Kante.
There isn't going to be one for literally decades. That's the question. That is the thing. It's not a question of like, who's going to fit his boots in the next like fucking 2 months. It's Kante is an anomaly. That's the question. That is literally it. And it's as simple as that.
Bring me Frank Kessie.
It's not about finding another one. Like when you look at managers like
you're not Tuchel, trying to replace him. That's it.
No, but we shouldn't be. Like, when you look at managers like Tuchel, like Sarri, they've had to slightly adapt their own personal styles of play because you have someone like Kante and you just can't leave him out of the team. Kante is one of those players you just can't leave out. So regardless of what your style is, like the possession-based style Sarri was doing, Kante still had to play because it's Kante and you can't just leave him out. I think now we have to adapt. We can't just be like, we're waiting for a replacement. So we go do this thing for 4 or 5 years where we're just buying bummy midfielders to try and find we have to move on from it.
The example is this. Man City. Fernandinho, brilliant player, right? Yeah. They replaced him with Rodri, who's not the same player. But you sit at the base and do that. That's what you have to. For him and Jorginho, you have to find like 1 or 2 that are who can do that job, but are going to be different. There's not going to be the same Kante. As I say, he's an anomaly. He's a freak. Yeah, It's not going to happen. You need to move on. And both of them probably will go. I don't believe for free, or I think they'll go because of the age of both and Kante's injury issues. They'll both go, I think. And that's why I think we'll recruit in January 1 or 2 midfielders, and then another midfielder in the summer.
Kante's 31. He's 31.
He's 31.
How old is Jorginho? 31 as well.
31 as well. Yeah, I think.
Yeah, but
30,
I think Jorginho, him being Italian, most Italian players, like to be fair, most of them don't even leave Italy anyway, and those who do, they always like to return back to retire or whatever. With Kante, I don't know if he does love the club and he wants to retire here, and his thing in mind is to retire in the next year or 2. Then maybe giving him that 2-year contract might not be that bad per se. So long as he's here as a backup midfield option, and he's retired.
He wants a 3-year, apparently.
Oh no! Even still, so long as he's here as he's here for just squad depth as a backup option. There's like 3-4 quality midfielders ahead of him. I don't necessarily mind. As long as he's not our first choice option whatsoever at all, he shouldn't be. We shouldn't be relying on Kante.
Yeah. See, the thing is too. But the thing is too, like, he's rejected the offer. I see what we're trying to say.
Let's not go there as well.
I see why they want to extend his contract, because I feel like right now it would be kind of crappy to have someone of quality of Kante, because let's just get it right. Like, I know he's injury prone and stuff right now, but we're not saying he's bad either. He's still got decent quality. Let's have it right. But I still think, like, to let him walk away on a free would kind of be I think it would kind of be a waste of an opportunity. If you get what I'm saying.
Let me give you this, right? And it's not the same player. We made a mistake this summer, and that's on Tuchel, of giving Aspie a 2-year deal.
Oh my days. Okay, yeah.
And I'm not saying it's like that, but because of his non-availability, it would be a waste of finances to give this guy a new contract. He doesn't warrant his current wage at the moment of $290. If he's sticking to that or asking for more, he doesn't warrant that. It doesn't make any financial sense to give this guy a 3+1 year or even a 2+1 year contract on his current wages. He doesn't warrant that money. It's almost like a fraudulent transaction. He doesn't.
Did you say he's on 290?
290, yeah, 290 a week, yeah.
Fuck off.
Yeah.
Wait,
as
Pitaqueta is on 290 grand a week.
Wait, what?
No, sorry, no, Kante.
Oh no,
Kante.
Kante.
Aspie's on 180. He went up to 180.
Oh, I thought it was 150. Oh,
no, he went up to 180.
See, I think Aspie should just use as a bench player, but 180 is still quite high up.
Aspie should have left. He should have left. He should have let him go, as proven the games he's played.
Yeah, I got that one wrong.
And that's what I'm saying to you. He will either decline even more so, or he'll be even injured even more so. And the problem is, you've got too many injury-prone players in the midfield. You've got two especially who need to start, and that's Kovacic and Kante. And right now, they get injured on a more frequent time. They get frequently injured, and also they also get injured nearly at the same time as well. So you're two players down, and that's when Jorghino, for all his faults, his weaknesses get exposed because he's having to play all the time, and he hasn't got them. So again, I think we're going to do something in January with the midfield, and it'll be interesting to see if he actually does want Zakaria, if he plays Zakaria. Sure. I think Harry will get one in the door. I think in January I'm going to try to.
What name do you think we'll get in?
I think it'll either be Alvarez or it'll be Caicedo from Brighton.
I think more likely it'll be Alvarez and maybe Caicedo in the summer, because they won't send him in Jan.
Here's a little debate. How do you feel like we haven't played Zakaria yet at all?
I don't know.
What the fuck is happening with him at all?
He didn't start under Tuchel. He hasn't started under Potter. So
he's not showing himself in training.
Do you reckon he needs time to get eased into the squad? Like, because it's something we don't see in training. Because
he's on a loan. He's on a loan though. You can't ease him into the squad. You've got to push him straight in.
Yeah, but you guys need to remember.
It's something in training we're not seeing. Like,
maybe you guys need to remember that he didn't play consistently last season. Tuchel didn't use him because I don't even think Tuchel really wanted him. And it's only been one game under Potter. Like, he played in the friendly thing yesterday, the behind closed door friendly with Brighton.
Oh yeah.
He started in it, so like maybe we will see more of him. But just like chill. It's only one game under Potter.
Yeah, I think Potter will try out players in time, but with the international break happening at this exact time, it's hard to really say. But I want to touch on something that you guys talked about, and Ahmed brought this up. Do you guys? I think Jorghino will sign a contract extension. I think Jorghino will sign a new contract.
They're not going to give him one. They're not giving him one.
You don't think they're going to give him one? Because of all our midfield, let me just let me just put this out there. Of all our midfielders, he seems to be one of the more consistent ones. He's usually mostly available. And for what we ask of him to do, age doesn't seem to be much of a factor for him to just play from the back. And I know he doesn't have the pace and all that. We all know his cons. We've already gone over it in the past. But I feel like he is going to stay here longer than most of our other midfielders.
There's a reason.
There's a reason why his agent, whoever, said they're not going to negotiate they're only going to negotiate from September. There's a reason why, because they're going to leave on a free, and that's fine.
I'm telling you,
leave on a free, that's fine.
Do you know how mad it is?
They can do that. They can do that, right?
Do you know how
and
mad
Juve won him. Juve won him as well. So
he's 2 league games away from matching his league games at Napoli.
What?
Really?
He played 133 games in the league at Napoli, and he's on 131 right now for Chelsea. Yeah. That is mental. That is absolutely mental.
But that's our issues with midfield. He's played too much because the others are injured.
Yes, and he's too settled as. That is the thing with Chelsea players. They're too accustomed to their role.
Well, that's our problem.
Again, like.
That's our transfers issue.
They got the minerals right or anything like that. They have got the. They're too settled. I'm sorry. It's as simple as that. Mason Mount, as good as he is an exceptional football player. But he is too accustomed to his role. He has no competition. He has nothing. No one is competing with him.
Yeah.
No one is.
He knows he's always going
and
to
if
start.
they are, they're not good enough to compete with him. That's as simple as that.
Yeah, and that's
and that's not me, Johnny. I'm not criticising him at all by saying he's bad. I'm not saying he's bad.
You can criticise anyone you want.
Let's go back to Gateshead, yeah? We'll go back to
Yeah.
I do. No, on the streams. On the streams, I criticise. I've been told I don't like Johnny just because I criticised Mason Mount.
Yeah.
One time.
No, but that's the problem we've had. The problem we've had. I don't know going back how long? Probably since about 2015, building like the transfers coming in and building this squad. It's just been filled with trash and mediocrity. That we've had to.
He is our best player, though.
That's the problem. That's the problem in itself.
That's
a problem in itself.
On paper, he is.
But you know it is though, Harry.
But you can't ever criticize him. That's the thing.
Oh, that's the problem as well.
But who's our best player?
But the problem is, Harry.
How dare you?
The problem is, Harry, is that at a club like Chelsea, that is a negative. That he's seen as our best player. That is a negative. He should not. I reckon he should be.
He shouldn't.
And I don't care what anyone says. And I'm talking about their early careers. He's going to be like our Milner or Henderson. Okay. No. If you look at not Milner now at Liverpool, I'm talking when he was at City, when he's at Villa.
Yeah. I know what you mean.
Good stats
a solid player.
Yeah, a solid player.
A longevity player.
Exactly. And that's what he should.
I'd love to hear what Alex had to say to all the things you've had to say today.
Well, I don't think we know. Listen, I criticize. I know, but the problem is I don't really over criticize Mount because my expectations of him are not that high.
Yeah,
I know what he is.
Mine are up here though. That's the thing.
That's the problem. That's a you problem. That's what that
yeah,
is.
no, but it's because of the people like Johnny that are because he's been our top player of the last 2 years. I've got no choice but to be like, and also.
But the thing is, he hasn't been our best player of the past few years.
He has.
No, he has.
Goals and assists.
No,
he has.
Hold on.
I hate to admit as well, but he has.
In attack, maybe, but
Can I go?
by the defenders.
He hasn't been.
We can hear you, Prime. Yeah.
Last season, I would say it was Thiago Silva. Even
but that's not what.
He was.
That's not what Harry said. He said
again, stop. It's in the fact that all of our attackers are bad. It's not a compliment to say he's our best attacker.
No, we said
It
that.
doesn't mean anything to me.
Yeah, that's
Our
what
best player
Andrew's saying pretty much.
But
Our
that's
best
not.
player last
that-
season, I
but
would say,
that's
was
not
Thiago
what.
Silva, not Mount.
But that's not
Even
what people factor in, and I'm not saying that's what I factor in. That's what I'm saying. What fans factor in is GA. GA is the thing that you have to factor in, and whether that's right or not, it is what you have to factor in. Is it?
Yeah,
simple
I think most of us on
as
this.
shit as it is, it fucking. It's what you have to
It,
factor in.
it is shit, and I think most of us on this panel would say that if we had to pick who the best player was last season, it's going to be between Reece James or Silva.
It's Silva.
Mount doesn't even make
It
the
is Silva.
discussion. I think it is Silva.
I would have said
Thiago Silva is our best player
Yeah.
by a country
By
mile.
far.
He is.
James to me.
He's by a mile. Thiago Silva is our best player in the last 2 years by a mile. It's not
Yeah,
even
and I
close.
think-
It's
and I-
not-
and-
it's not even close. It's not even close. You
And I
can't-
think the
you
thing
can't
is,
debate.
now, if Chelsea is at a place where we all want it to be, and it probably should be,
Mount wouldn't
Mount
even.
is
Yeah.
Mount is a brilliant option to have in the squad that you can use, a player that you can trust in certain situations. But because he's viewed as, maybe some people would even say he's our best player, that shows one, how bad the squad actually is, and two, having all that pressure and expectation on him is also not good either, because he's not good enough to live up to that.
But you could argue with the right people around him, Mason Mount is the best player at Chelsea Football Club.
It's just.
No,
Wait.
However,
explain
let me-
that.
Because, and it doesn't, right? So I feel like he shouldn't be the best player at the club because he relies on people being good around him.
Right, I understand. Yeah.
However, he has that quality about him, if that makes sense, that if he has the right people around him, he can be the best.
Oh, I disagree with that.
But the fact that he relies on people being around him that are good enough to elevate him proves that he's just not good enough for the right now. The right now.
So basically,
does that make sense?
The way the squad
but he is really fucking good. He
But the
is
way
one
the
of the
squad-
best.
I think I understand what you're saying. It's like the way the
He's got the
squad's
minerals.
constructed. the way the squad's constructed now, it shows every player's flaws highlighted more than what it is. In terms of, I always agree with this. I always think if you elevate your squad with quality, then it can elevate people's games around them. Right? It can elevate their people's games around them. I have no doubt that Lampard got better because of the squad that we surrounded him with.
No, he was just good enough.
No. But what I'm saying is
Lampard could have done well no matter who he played with.
But what I'm saying, I also think that what we surrounded him with and what we put him under pressure because we brought in. We brought in Michael Ballack.
It was with Mikel. Mikel was shite, and he.
Stop!
Oh,
Stop!
Yo.
I think he's underrated. I really do.
I'm here to say that Mikel was shite and
Wasn't.
Lampard.
Yeah.
But anyway, the point is,
I've touched a nerve there.
We just
let's not have
stream we talked about this.
Let's not have Mikel slander. Anyway, but back to what you're saying with Mount.
I'm just saying Mikel was shit.
No, but back to what you're saying with Mount, I understand that elevates the player, but I still disagree that I still stand by if Chelsea gets to a point where it should be at, and it was at in the past, Mount doesn't start in our best team consistently. That's not even a bad thing towards him. It just means that we have better players than him.
Yeah.
Overall,
though, I think what this discussion does reveal is that if Mount is our best player, Chelsea is in quite the dire straits. I'm not gonna lie, it's bad times.
I feel like a bit. I've touched a nerve when I said that Mikel was shite. I cannot be the only person who thinks that he was shit.
Do we want to open this can of worms?
Hey, but you know what? Yeah,
I feel like we should.
Wait, actually, hold on. What is your name, by the way? I actually don't know your name.
It's Harry.
Harry.
My name
Harry.
is Harry.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
It goes on to the point we were doing a few streams ago when we were saying that Chelsea fan base as a whole did not have respect for Mikel. So you play into that what we were saying. So thank you. Well, you're wrong. But yeah, thank you.
Go on. If you actually go back to, I can't remember, I was drunk as I am now. There is a stream you can find where I actually back Mikel as one of our top centre midfielders for like our Champions League.
Yeah.
And I actually backed Mikel. However, in terms of all-time central midfielders, I would say he was shite. And I would back Mikel as someone who did my head in more than they didn't, if that makes sense.
No, that's cool. I hear
Mikel. So me personally, Mikel fucked me off so many times. He was so bad. In my head, I can appreciate that he was good. But for me personally, I don't like him as a central midfielder.
No, but here's the thing, Harry. Again, but you're like we were doing this stream a few weeks or whatever ago, or a couple of weeks ago, about Chelsea fans not respecting Mikel. Like you play into that. You're one of the fans who didn't have respect for Mikel.
But I also do though. You can find a stream where I respected him.
Yeah.
But I also found him
basically.
annoying.
Basically, what the topic was that we were all here talking about how Chelsea fans, when Mikel was playing, didn't respect him. And everyone seems to have this revisionist history idea that he was fantastic for us at all times and everyone loved him, when that wasn't necessarily true. Right now, we look back at Mikel, or most of us look back at Mikel and appreciate what he was. But when he was playing, when we were watching him then, there were a lot of fans that maybe shared a point of view like yours, Harry, that didn't rate him.
Do you know why? I think? Do you know why I think? I think Mikel suffers from the greatness of who he was playing with in that midfield. He suffers from.
I can't be the only one who didn't like Mikel.
No, it's not.
You are old. No, you are old enough to remember Mikel playing in his prime. He was atrocious to watch. I'm sorry.
He wasn't. But okay,
Listen, I know this. We all know.
Is part of this? I mean, let me not say it, but you know.
Go ahead, Ahmed.
No, I would just
I don't
say
think
that.
it's that.
He was a pain more than he wasn't.
No.
That's all I will say.
You don't think it's what, Andrew?
What Harry was saying, is
I know what you're trying to
what
say.
we know. Like
That he's
Harry
drunk.
Oh no! Come on. What?
Nothing.
No,
Ahmed, what were you saying? Go ahead, Ahmed.
Yeah. What I was saying was that what Harry is saying is the reality, like of back in the day. What people used to think of Mikel. Like, listen, I like Mikel in it, but I've always said that back. But what people were saying about Mikel now is what Harry used to say in it. So at least
hindsight is a beautiful thing.
Yeah,
however, in the moment, everyone hated Mikel. No one liked Mikel. No bollocks. I'm sorry. That's
bro. He's one of my favorite Chelsea players of all time.
That's a shambles. If that is true, that's a shambles. If that is true. So what I will say is, in hindsight, everyone knows that Mikel is a very good central midfielder. But in the moment, everyone fucking hated Mikel because he was shit at his job. He was shit at his job. He was really bad at his job. He was not good at his job at all. He was not good at his job, and he used to let down the midfield massively. However, then you look back at the big moments. You always look back at the big moments because the odd game here or there, whether it's against like Bradford or whoever, it doesn't matter because you only look back at the big moments, and Mikel for some reason showed up on the big moments. He just had that about him. So then when you go back and look at Mikel on those moments, of course he looks good.
Yeah, I agree. Listen. At the time,
but he was a pain in the arse. He was.
I agree. At the time, I used to go to Stamford Bridge and watch him. There was when he started, hang on, let me finish. When he started, but Prime, sometimes you've just got a weird view of things. That's all, and then that's fine. But at the time, when you went to Stamford Bridge or you watched him in a pub or something like that, if Mikel started or came on, there wasn't an overall...
I feel like you offended me.
No, you saw Mikel coming on, and it was an overall dread.
I don't know
if you were at the game,
it was a disappointment.
Mate, every single time I went to the game with my dad when I was younger, I saw Mikel come on. I might have been persuaded by his opinion, but I saw and coming on Mikel, and I was like, oh, for fuck's sake! It's like it's not a good feeling.
No, because you know why? It was like for me, it was like, why isn't Macarena starting? Why isn't Essien starting? In that position? That was it.
You also have to factor in who was in contention with Mikel.
Yeah. So I mean, look, we talked about it last time. Harry's pointing out that same with Kalu. Same with we had another player that we were talking about too. Thank you, Maluda. Yeah, so they're like, Harry is proof that there was a good portion of the fan base that didn't like Mikel, and we're seeing it.
I'm just saying.
I'm not saying
Harry.
I'm not saying I didn't like him. I'm saying I didn't rate him. And when the time came on, whenever I saw Mikel was coming on as a sub, I was like, oh, for fuck's sake! It's very much the same now. When you look and you see that it's like. It's 65th minute, 70th minute, and you see Azpilicueta coming. You're like, what the fuck is he going to do? Nothing. He's not going to do anything. Nothing. What is he going to do?
Respect my captain, man, all right?
I love Dave. I love Dave. But what is he going to do in the 70th minute? Nothing. And he's brought him on. He's brought him on. We're losing as well.
Close us out on this, Prime.
Sorry, I'm sorry. I'm passionate about
that. No, you're fine. You're fine. Prime,
It's all right.
close us out on the Mikel topic so we can talk about the last thing. Prime?
I know.
Right. There we go.
Prime?
He didn't. I am someone who actually did rate Mikel during that time.
Hello?
His mic is like going in and out.
He's talking, but it's not loud.
Did not rate Mikel.
Yeah. Prime, I think you're having some mic issues. Let me see if I can fix it on my end. Hold on. Because I didn't know this. I can actually fix people's mics from here. There we go. Now we can hear you. I fixed your mic.
I think it's Wi-Fi. It's cutting in now.
Prime? Okay, no, we've lost Prime. Okay, well, let's go on to the next topic. Let's go ahead and talk about a little, or at least our reactions to the Chelsea versus Brighton behind closed door match. And this will be the last, maybe the last talking point of the stream today. Right here, I have Adam Newson. Chelsea played Brighton in behind closed doors friendly today. Those who started in the UCL game versus Salzburg didn't feature. Chelsea won the game 2-1. Carney Chukwuemeka got both goals. So it's looking that's nice that Potter got a chance to play with some of these players that he didn't get a chance to feature during that Champions League bout. But it's surprising to see that Carney was the one that got both goals. So I wanted to ask you guys, is this, I guess, a little bit of a, hey, maybe we should put Carney in the next game and see what he does? I don't know.
We don't know who from Brighton that we faced though. It's for all we know, could even be Brighton's B team as well. So.
Neil Mopé made a cameo.
I know.
Yeah. I know.
So I didn't know because I don't know.
Oh, shut up! Okay, shut up! All right, leave me alone. I was drunk, sorta.
Our face for the stream, you know. Yeah, listen, man, the IQ is a bit dodgy.
Listen, but it's assuming the players that didn't play. That means. We probably Koulibaly played, Fofana played. Who else didn't feature in that? Zakaria probably played. Pulisic probably got Chilwell got a chance. And listen, we won a game under Potter. It was 2-1 against Brighton without Potter. Maybe Potter was managing both clubs at the same time. Who knows? But I don't know. What do you guys think of the Chukwuemeka having the 2 goals though? I think that says something. He's ambitious. This is what I want. This is kind of what I'm getting at. If a player gets benched, we saw what happened with Heung-min Son yesterday. If a player gets benched and you get put on the pitch, I want you to react. Bad example, similarly to how Son did, similarly to how Kai Havertz did. Come in, score a goal, give us a reason why you should start. Which I don't think we have in the club right now. I think what we mentioned before, what Harry said, there's this complacency for Jorghino and the players that, they're not going to get replaced. Same thing with Mount. Chuck should be able to have a chance to play, and if he does well, keep his position until someone else comes in, shows that they can play better. Kind of like how Chilwell did with Cucurella as well.
When does he get the chance though? That's the question. I would argue that he should have been given an opportunity long ago. Right at the beginning, we bought him for a purpose, and he has yet to be given that purpose or the opportunity to provide that purpose. We know how good he can be, and he is yet to be given that chance at a first team level to be given that chance to provide any such sort of abilities that he can provide, and we know he's really good. That's the thing. Yeah. It's not a question of is he good enough to do it. We know he's really good. Why? Arguably, obviously, we've only had one game under Potter, but Tuchel. It's neither here nor there. But what do we expect him now that he's scored 2 goals in a friendly against Potter's old club? Should we see Chukwuemeka make an appearance for Chelsea at a senior level?
But even
the issue is what do you take from this friendly? The term friendly is how intense. How intense was this? I presume it wasn't that intense. It was just for fitness stuff like that. Probably because Brighton also had a game called off. What formation? Because I can't see him playing as the 2 like that. Do you then is this going to be a permanent formation?
But Andrew, wouldn't you say that if we gave Gallagher the shot, he should also be able to get the shot? And we saw how bad Gallagher was in it too.
I'm fine. Listen, I'm fine. But what I'm saying is this: I don't know what Potter's plan. No one knows what Potter's plan is going forward, and maybe that's good for us because then the opponents don't know. But then, when he comes in, what does he play? Does he play as an 8? Does he play as a 10? I don't see him playing out wide. I
definitely wish I had more details on this.
I don't.
Because
that's the thing.
His main positioning is basically as an 8. So, like, he always plays the Mount position. Yeah. So
but the thing. Okay. So, well then, like you said, he came in, he signed, and Tuchel immediately put him in the first team training, but then never gave him any minutes. Never gave him any minutes. Like we can use 5 subs now, and in some of the games, Tuchel didn't even use all his 5 subs. Do you know what I mean? It's like sure, and that's because of the formation. Where you're going to put him in Tuchel's formation, you can't put him in the pivot. Yeah. He's not a pivot player. You'd have the same issue you'd have with Gallagher, who's not a pivot player. So does that mean then, if you're thinking about putting Chukwuemeka in, and also the reports are coming out the last couple of days that he's really impressed with Broha in terms of what he can do and everything like that, and spearhead his attack. Does that mean that we are now moving away from the back 3, or I think he does. Listen, I'm all for. I'm not of this. Oh, he's not. If you're old enough, if you're good enough, you're old enough. Yeah. I don't care how, if you're showing something, and you know what, it might need, this team needs a rejuvenation, needs some energy, needs someone who's, I don't know if he is, someone who shows no fear, essentially, that no one knows about a lot, who's a surprise package. And maybe he is that. Let's see. You know what? He can't do any worse than what we've seen already this season, right?
William Mitchell doesn't like what I have to say apparently in the comments.
I saw that. Listen, William, if you're new here, you came to the right place because we always have different views here. Sometimes we bring people like Harry. Yeah,
I'm everywhere. You can't get rid of me. I'm here to stay.
So if you came here for different views, you came to the right place. That's all I'm saying.
This is Harry's debut on the channel. He's not been on the channel before.
Maybe he's just watching too much Chelsea content.
That's true. Well, welcome to the channel if you're new, and make sure you are subscribing, people. We are very close to 1,400. But Andrew, I don't know if you had another point to continue with that. Yeah.
Well, no, won't we? Potter's not afraid of like giving people chances who've seen it at Brighton.
And I like that. I like that he's not afraid to give people a chance. He shouldn't be.
Look at some of that McAllister guy. He was a 10.
Yeah.
Played him as a 6. Do you know?
Yeah, maybe we'll see the same thing with Mason Mount. Who knows?
I'm just going to tell you right now, Mason Mount, for the position that he plays in, I've said this before, he has no vision.
We moved on.
I don't disagree. I'm just joking. It was a joke. Ahmed, it was a joke. Ahmed. It was a joke. Please, it was a joke.
Don't give me further.
Chukwuemeka.
Yeah, I think hearing that he played and he gave the other players a chance, maybe we see Zakaria play more. Maybe we'd see a single pivot. Maybe we do move to a back four. I wouldn't be opposed to it as long as we look good, as long as it fits and the players get the most out of it.
Thiago Silva's a back two. I'm fine with it.
Yeah, I hate to admit it. I really hate to admit it because I really backed Thiago this season a lot, but he is on a decline. I have to admit it. And Dark, you're here. If you're on in the chat right now, you're hearing me say it. He is on a decline, and it's very, very obvious to see now, even as a center back. Like, come on, man. But yeah, I'm excited to see. Unfortunately, we have to wait another 2 weeks to see it, but I'm excited to see what Potter's going to do with this team, and he's not afraid, like he said, to try out other players. And if what he's saying is true about Broja, more power to him as well. I do want to see different formations. I do want to see him experiment. I don't know if you guys feel the same way. Players like Broja should have given more time.
I think he needs to make it clear that everyone in that squad has to start again.
Mm-hmm.
It's not on reputation. That's what they've done previously. Because previously, they got the other guy. That's why he's there. Do you know what I mean? It's one of the reasons why he's there. It's because you guys weren't performing under this guy. This is a complete. Everyone's got a clean slate, but also has to prove to him,
of course,
they can still do it. It doesn't matter who reputation or anything like that. Who's going to be the phony tough and who's going to be the crazy brave? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Sort it out. And I don't care what you've done. I don't care if you scored a Champions League goal. I don't care if you've assisted and got 29 GNA last season. What are you doing for me now? That's what I'm saying right now. I don't care if you're the best defender last season. I don't care if you're club captain. I don't care if you're coming back from injury. I don't care if you're a goalkeeper, voted one of the best goalkeepers. Everything's new. You've got to prove yourself to him. You
do. Oh, there we go. I was just about to say Harry had to leave. So
okay.
Harry, thank you for coming on. We appreciate Harry, we'll have you on in the future. But Ahmed, what did you have to say?
I was just saying, obviously, I don't know if you watched the Atletico Real game, but I think he stormed off. What's his name?
I was seeing it a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah, João Felix. He stormed off the pitch, literally straight into our locker room. So he might be available soon, isn't it? So he might be available.
That is a Walking Dead contract. I think he's still got. That's a 3 or 4 records
contract, man.
I think he's got 3 or 4 years though still left.
So he's going to be minimum 100 mil. Minimum 100 mil.
They bought him for 107 mil, I think. It was. So we're not. That is not happening.
I know.
I can't see the DOF going. You know what? I've just got in this club. I'm going to spend 107 million on 100 million on.
I know, but listen, man. He's another one, hipster player. You know what I mean?
That's very true. Aesthetic. That eye test merchant. That's what that is.
That's an eye test. João Felix is genuinely like my eye test merchant.
Eye test merchant. Yeah.
Yeah, man.
But I think at that point, ladies and gents, I think we're good to go here. I think we did a pretty good job of wrapping up what's been going on at Chelsea for the past week or so. Of course, international break, not much happening. We will still be here giving you guys some content. I believe, if everything goes well, we'll probably have 2 streams during the week. And another maybe 2 at the weekend. I don't know. So we'll see what we do.
I think we definitely decided we're going to do like an eye test versus hard work 11.
Yes, we will do that. Whether we do it during the week or we do it on the weekend, I don't know yet.
Shifts.
Yeah, we might actually. It might be better if we just do it on the weekend because there is something I want to react to on Wednesday. So we might do a lovely react stream on Wednesday, which you guys love to see. So I won't say who it is. I won't say what it is. So you'll just have to tune in and hit that bell notification so you don't miss it. Yes. So, ladies and gentlemen, we're wrapping it up here. Make sure you smash that like button. Subscribe if you're new to the channel. Get us to 1,400 subscribers, please. We're so close. We're so close. So help us push us to that 1,400 subscribers. Big shout out to Harry from the Chelsea TV channel, Chelsea Fans TV. So make sure you check him out over there. Shout out to Ahmed and obviously Winter Surfer, Sarcasm City. Make sure you're checking him out over on there as well. Link is in the description. I believe the link is in the description. If not, I gotta put it back on there. And then Real Chris, who's just Real Chris. So thank you guys for being here. Leave a comment down below. Let us know what you think about everything we've spoken about. Like I said, smash a like, subscribe, hit the bell notification so you don't miss our future streams. And we'll catch you on the next stream on Wednesday. All right. Peace out, everyone.